So I just dropped my kids off to school. It's the 1st of June in Nova Scotia, and it's a pretty cool day today, but I know that it's about to get hot. And something that's on my mind is extreme heat in schools in Nova Scotia. So we know with climate change, we're getting hotter days earlier, it's lasting longer. We just had an extreme heat event in mid-May where temperature records were smashed across the province. And we know that schools weren't designed for this. My kids' schools are over 30 years old. Even newer schools aren't being designed with today's climate in mind. And so we're hearing stories from parents and students and teachers about kids who are too hot to learn in schools and too hot to really be safe. And so, things like kids lying down on the floor in the gym, kids who are sick to their stomach, kids who are even fainting because of the extreme heat in schools. And I know that as a parent, it's a concern for me when we've had extreme heat days in other Junes. I've kept my kids home from school, and that's a hard call to make. I don't know what the factors are that I should be thinking about, and I know that lots of parents also don't have that ability to keep their kids home, and lots of homes don't have any cooling spaces in them either. So we're launching a campaign in my role as director at For Our Kids. We're launching a campaign in Nova Scotia about extreme heat in schools. And we know that as parents, we love our kids and they deserve schools where they can learn, grow, and thrive even as our climate changes. So we don't think it's right that parents should have to make these decisions with no guidance. We don't think it's right that, the Department of Education is sticking its head in the sand about these climate impacts. And so we want some clear and enforceable maximum temperature thresholds. We want province-wide heat protocols for our schools, cooling spaces in schools. We want modernized ventilation systems because our kids need clean air. We want passive cooling, like green spaces and shaded windows and cool roofs. We want schedule adjustments based on the forecast and long-term investments to ensure that all of our schools are climate resilient and climate adapted spaces. And schools are such an important part of our public infrastructure in rural areas, and so we could be using our schools as cooling centers, as climate resilient centers. And so we want to see this really as part of a comprehensive climate action plan for schools and for communities. So if this is something that's on your mind, if you've ever had an experience with extreme heat in your kids at school, if you're an educator or a parent or a student who's experienced extreme heat, we want to hear from you, and we want you to join us in the Hot Schools Cool Solutions campaign. Find out more at the link here.